wasn't in the case of research, it was in fact what inspired my first book. A long time ago I worked as a lecturer in further education, and I worked in a further education college in the centre of Rotherham. Now every Thursday night I used to work until 9 o'clock. I had an evening class that I taught, and at 9 o'clock I would leave the college in the centre of Rotherham, walk through the pedestrianised town centre, which was always empty, always quiet, and down to the station to catch my train. Now Rotherham station's rather oddly configured. The road goes over a bridge, and the railway line is down in the valley under the bridge along with the river and the canal. The entrance to the station is at one end of the bridge. And this particular night I left the college, and it was a filthy night. It was cold, it was raining, it was windy, it was horrible. Anyway, I hurried through the town centre to the station, through the station entrance on the bridge, and then you kind of go past the ticket office, and they shut up shop at 9 o'clock, so no one's there. Down this long ramp onto the platform, and there's one platform for trains going to Sheffield, and opposite you have another platform for trains going to anywhere else. And at that time of night there's usually no one there, and that particular night there was just me down on the platform. And I was standing there, and it was cold and wet, and the wind was blowing, and I could hear the chains rattling in the roof, and I wasn't happy. And I had no idea what time the train would come because it was very unreliable. And I glanced back up the ramp towards the road, or towards the exit, and there was a man standing there. Now he was silhouetted against the light, but I could tell it was a man because he was big, and he was just standing there, and he was watching me. Didn't like the look of him at all, so I just stood there and I looked away. I tried very hard not to keep sort of looking up at him, but it was difficult. I just kept checking, and he was just standing there, and he was making me more and more nervous, and I began to think, what could I do? And as I looked round, I realised something about the station I hadn't realised before. Opposite, behind the platform opposite, there was a timber yard with a chain link fence. Behind me there was a high wall, and over that there was the towpath, and sort of above me there was the road bridge with a high wall too. So I was completely isolated down there. In fact, the thought, on Rotherham Central Station no one can hear you scream, did kind of run through my mind. And I was getting so nervous at this point, I thought, how can I get out? And I thought, I know, I'll cross the line. And that's when I began to get seriously frightened, because I realised if I crossed the line to the other platform, I'd go up the ramp at the other side, across the bridge, and he was there. He'd positioned himself in the perfect place to block my exit from that station. And I was petrified. I sort of froze, and as I stood there thinking, what can I do? He began to walk very slowly down the ramp towards me. Well, I tried to run in 4 different directions at once, and so I didn't go anywhere. And then I heard the train. I've never been so glad to hear anything in my life. The line curves there, so you can't see the train, but the line starts to sing, and the chain link fence and the timber yard starts to vibrate, and so you know it's coming. And this guy was walking slowly down towards me, and then I realised, of course, I'd been stupid. He'd been up on the bridge, sheltering from the bad weather, watching for the train, and now he was just strolling down to step onto it from the platform. I was the idiot who'd been standing out in the cold. But I have never got on a train so fast in my life. I swear I was through that door before it had even stopped. And then I turned round to watch him, because I wanted to give him a really nasty look, because he'd given me a fright, and he knew he'd given me a fright. He knew exactly what he was doing. And this has stayed with me to this day. No one got off that train, and no one apart from me got on it.